beautiful friends, and welcome back to Cheap Lazy Vegan. My name is Rose, and today I'm going to be making 5 comforting vegan breakfast recipes for under $5. So these recipes are super comforting, satisfying, delicious, and I think these would be perfect for a nice weekend brunch. Invite your friends over and have yourselves a nice vegan feast. Maybe make all of these and see what your friends say. I'm sure they'll love it. Before I get on with the recipes, I want to let you guys know that this is not just a standard video, but it is a collaboration with one of my favorite vegan YouTube channels, and her name is Shoemaker. If you guys like what I do over here on my channel, I am sure you will love what Caitlin does over there on her channel, so don't forget to go and show her some love after you watch this video. Now let's see what Caitlin is making.
Hey everyone, it's Caitlin, and I run the channel Caitlin Shoemaker, which is my name, and no, I don't make shoes. I specialize in easy to follow, simple, and oftentimes affordable vegan recipes, and I am so excited to be collaborating with Rose today on some budget-friendly comfort food items. I'm tackling the lunch/dinner portion of this collaboration, so after you guys finish watching Rose's drool-worthy video, head on over to my channel to see how you can make some mac and cheese fries, minestrone soup, potato soup, and creamy mashed potatoes. I hope to see you there.
So you guys don't forget to go and show Caitlin some vegan love after you watch this video. For more awesome vegan recipes, let me just explain a little bit more about what I'm doing in this video. I actually made 5 different comforting vegan breakfast recipes, and I spent a total of $25 or less. The only thing that I used that I didn't buy within the $25 range was salt. But I will note that some of the products I didn't actually purchase because I already had it in my house. So for example, like I have a big bag of flour and a big bag of sugar, and I did not buy those. So instead I actually went to the store and just looked at how much it would cost me to buy these things in the store, and I just incorporated that into the price as if I had bought it. But I just didn't feel the need to go and buy another giant bag of flour. Now keep in mind that I live in Canada, so I actually converted the $25 American to Canadian dollars, which ended up being a little over $30. A lot of products I'm actually using, you probably already have in your kitchen, so if you make these recipes, it probably would cost you a lot less. So yeah, I think that's enough talking. Let's get on with the 5 super delicious and comforting vegan breakfast recipes.
So let's go through what I bought. We have here some flour, sugar, almond milk. We also have some cornmeal, some French bread freshly baked. We also have a canola oil, original coating mix, a tomato, some stewed tomatoes in a can, mushroom gravy in a can as well, a package of extra firm tofu, an avocado, 2 potatoes, baking powder, some chicken taco seasoning mix, and no, it does not contain chicken, and also some green onions. So this all came to a grand total of $31.40 Canadian, which as you can see here is less than the equivalent of $25 American. Alright, now that we have all the ingredients, let's start making some food. First dish is going to be a scrambled tofu and avocado bruschetta. First thing we're going to do is heat up a little bit of oil on a frying pan on medium-high heat. And now I'm just adding just a few of those stewed tomatoes onto the frying pan. I'm just going to break them apart just a little bit and just kind of cook them a little to kind of get rid of a little bit of the moisture. So because these are already stewed tomatoes, they already had some seasonings in there, so a lot of flavor was already in the can, so I didn't have to do too much. Once that's done, we're just going to set that aside on a plate and then move on with the tofu. So now on the same pan, we're just going to cook up some of the white parts of the green onion. And just using our hands, we're just going to crumble some of that firm tofu into the frying pan as well. And this is where the scrambling comes in. To season, I'm just using some of that chicken seasoning that I bought, and I realized it has a lot of the spices that I would normally use anyway, so that was really handy. And then I just threw in some of the greens of the green onion. And then I'm just going to cut up a couple slices of the French bread. I love freshly made French bread so much. It is just so delicious. Alright, now we can just assemble. We're just going to take the 2 pieces of French bread. We're going to spread some of that tomato mixture. And now we can add some of that scrambled tofu on top. And we're going to top it off with some avocado slices. And this part is totally optional, but I'm just adding a tiny bit of salt to taste. And that is pretty much it, my friends. Doesn't that look scrumptious? I mean, I would order this at a restaurant for sure. The stewed tomatoes gave this a really nice flavor. I really didn't feel the need to add anything else. It was just delicious on its own. So yeah, impress your friends with this very easy but fancy looking recipe. Next, we're going to make a vegan version of chicken and waffles. So these are going to be tofu and waffles, and trust me guys, it is bomb. Let's start by making some simple waffles. We're going to add some flour into a big bowl. We're adding some sugar, baking powder, a little pinch of salt, and mixing those dry ingredients together. And now we're adding some almond milk into the mixture. Now you can use any non-dairy milk that you wish. And let's mix that well. Now I just put a little bit of oil onto a paper towel, and now I'm just slightly greasing the waffle maker. And of course, we're just going to pour that waffle batter into the maker. Now this actually ended up making like 1.5 of those big-sized waffles. One of them just ended up a lot smaller, but I actually liked the smaller one better because it just looked nicer and cooler rather than just like a big giant thing of waffle. And now I'm just taking some of that extra from tofu and I'm just slicing it into these big squares. And I'm just going to make a simple coating. So I'm just taking some flour and a little bit of that chicken seasoning and some almond milk in a small bowl. And then I'm just going to mix that up with a fork. And what you want to do is dip a piece of tofu into that mixture that we just created. And then I'm just going to dip it into that coating that I bought earlier. That was originally like a coating for chicken or some kind of meat, I think. But of course, you don't have to use it for chicken. You can use it for tofu. You can also use breadcrumbs instead of the coating, or you can make your own mixture in order to coat your tofu. So like I said, I just dipped my tofu into the liquid mixture and then I coated it with the coating mix that I bought. And then I just fried them on each side with a little bit of oil for about 3 to 4 minutes. And meanwhile, you can just prepare your gravy. Now you can use maple syrup, use whatever you want. I just decided to buy gravy because it was cheap. I couldn't afford the maple syrup, you know, so we're just cooking up that gravy or just heating up that gravy. And then you just want to flip that tofu. Look how nice and crispy it looks. Now I'm just going to place those fried tofu pieces on top of my half waffle, and then I am just going to pour some of that gravy on top. And there you have a very delicious vegan version of chicken and waffles. This is tofu and waffles, and it is so delicious. I was a little worried about the gravy at first. I wasn't sure how well it would go with this, but it was super yummy. I highly recommend it with gravy actually, but of course you could also have it with whatever you want, like maple syrup or anything else. It's up to you. Guess what it's time for, guys? It is time for cornbread. Who does not love good old classic cornbread? We're going to start by preheating our oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And in a large mixing bowl, we're going to add some cornmeal, flour, sugar, baking powder, some salt, and mix those dry ingredients well. And now we're going to add in some almond milk or any other non-dairy milk, and also a little bit of oil. Now I used 2 tablespoons of oil for this recipe, but you can feel free to use a little bit more, but I didn't want to use too much oil. Or maybe even add a little bit of applesauce. I think that would be really good. And now I'm just going to put some parchment paper in a baking pan, and then I'm just going to transfer that mixture over. And then I'm just going to try to flatten out that top as much as I can. And then I just baked it at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes, and I just used a toothpick to make sure that it was completely cooked. And after the 20 minutes, this is what my cornbread looks like. So I'm just going to take it out after it's cooled down, and then I'm just going to cut it up, and then it's ready to eat. Now you can have this on its own or as a side to something. I just think it's just so delicious on its own. I love cornbread. Don't you love cornbread? I love cornbread. Now, I don't usually work with a lot of potato because I'm quite lazy and I don't like to peel, but I'm very glad that I did this because it was so yummy. So we're making some hash browns with some fried tofu and avocado. Now, first step is obviously to peel your potatoes. And I wanted my potatoes to be kind of shredded so that it would cook faster. So I'm just using a julienne peeler, which basically kind of shreds my potato for me because I don't have a, what do you call them, a grater. So I just thought I would use my julienne peeler. Alternatively, you could actually put your potatoes in a food processor and just chop it a few times, and it actually does the job pretty well, especially with my handy dandy food processor. If you guys want to get your hands on one of these, I will leave a link to it down below. And then of course on a pan on medium-high heat, I just heated a little bit of oil, added some green onions, cooked them up for a little bit, and then I added some chopped tomatoes and then the shredded potatoes. I do believe what is crucial is to use a non-stick pan. This pan is actually really good in terms of not sticking too much. And I just kind of let it cook, and then I would mix it up and then let it cook again. I'm not really sure. I'm not an expert in making hash browns or potatoes, but in the end it turned out. It did take a little bit of time and a lot of browning, but that is the end result. And now on top of that, we're gonna add the same type of fried tofu as we made earlier. And we're going to add just a few slices of avocado. And then of course, drizzle some of that gravy on top. And OMG, is this not a restaurant? Last but most definitely not least, we are going to be making a French toast breakfast sandwich. In a small bowl, I'm just adding some flour, some sugar, a little pinch of salt, and some almond milk. And we are going to mix that well. Now we're going to be dipping our bread slices into this mixture, so make sure your bowl is wide enough to fit the bread. So we're going to heat a little bit of oil on a frying pan. And then we're just gonna take 2 slices of the French bread and dip them on each side. And then we're just gonna cook them for about 3 minutes or so on each side until it's kind of nicely browned like that. So I cut up the tofu pieces the same way as before, but this time I decided to just directly coat the tofu pieces with the coating mixture instead of making a liquid mixture to coat them first before throwing them into the coating. Now the reason why I did this is to just save myself an extra step because I got a little lazy. But I do think that making that liquid coating before you dip it in the coating makes a huge difference, and it just makes your tofu a little bit more crispy on the outside. So if that is what you prefer, then I would recommend doing that extra step. But if you get lazy, there's no problem with doing this way as well. As you can see here, it's still nicely coated. So 1 piece of French toast, 1 piece of tofu, 1 piece of tomato, some slices of avocado, and another piece of the French toast. And there is your French toast breakfast sandwich. Oh my gosh, guys. It is savory and sweet at the same time. It is so yummy. I am not joking, guys. Pretty much every single thing on this video was so delicious, if I may say so myself. It's so easy, but so good. Try this out, okay? Please try this out.
Alright everybody, that is it for my 5 comfort breakfast ideas for $5 or less. I hope you guys enjoy these recipes. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on this video, and of course, give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. And if you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos like this one. And now it is time for you to go and check out Caitlin's video and her awesome recipes and her awesome channel. So click the links down below to check her out. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to her as well. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!